You're listening to the Jay Bird Watching Podcast, the official podcast of jaysjournal.com and fansided.com. We are the official ballroom chat for everything Toronto Blue Jays baseball, from game highlights to rumors and all the stuff in between. Here's your host, Craig Borden, with co-host Jason Lyons and Liz McGuire. Now let's talk some Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
What is happening, party people, and welcome to Jay Bird Watching. I am your host, Craig Borden. Let's get zoomed in here so you can actually see Jason Lyons and myself. Jason, I hear you're just as crazy, wild, and all over the place as I am. What's going on, bud?
Yeah. Sorry, true believers and feathers of the friends of the feather. We have been sort of all over the place over the last couple of days. Craig's got some good stories to tell about the midnight hour and things of that nature. I've been driving across Hell's Half Acre trying to get a kid from a baseball camp to a hockey tryout to a baseball camp. But you know what? I love it or I wouldn't do it. So big shout out to BLE, Big League Experience Camp. I met Shea Hillenbrand this week. What a dude. Honestly, I'm going to get him on the cast. He is stories for not for days, stories forever. Really good. The kids love him. It's great to see Marty and the rest of the boys, Coach Cox, all of them. So big shout out to BLE. Kids are having fun up there. And it's too bad about the Jays couple of games, but certainly some positives coming from Buffalo and some other places. Lots to talk about for sure.
Tons to talk about, Jason. Can't say enough good things about all the fun things we get to talk about in the quick abbreviated Thursday, whatever the hell call we're going to call here. But on that note, Jason, as you were, Liz is also traveling. Hence the reason she's MIA, because she's been having so much fun in airports today with the strike and everything going on with Air Canada and all these other things.
Over.
So there's that. I myself spent a 6-hour train ride, actually closer to a 12-hour train ride from New York City back here to Rochester, New York. And let's just say I'm glad that the delays were today, because I got to go to go see Billy Idol, as you were alluding to.
Yes.
And it was awesome. I cannot say enough good things about it. If you have a chance and you're a Billy Idol fan, he still sounds incredible. This isn't the David Lee Rothisms that he, just sounds like he's gargling the whole time he's out on the things. He sounds to me, Jason, last night at Madison Square Garden, he sounded just like he has always sounded on the albums. It was wild.
It's funny, when you told me that you were going to Billy Idol last week, I actually, I like to look up stuff and see what's happening. And the reviews of this concert tour are incredible. It
was awesome.
I thought back into Billy Idol's catalog, and he certainly has some good songs. He has some songs that I could probably go the rest of my life without hearing, but there are some good ones.
There is those.
And when you think about it, I feel like he was misbranded and still managed to be really successful. Like calling him the Prince of Punk was a little weird. He just wasn't punk. He was just a different.
He had the attitude for that.
A bit of
but
it
was never. It was never like, okay, great. Like White Wedding was the most punk song he did.
Yeah, he never. He wasn't Johnny Rotten. Let's just leave it at that. But for a guy who's. I wouldn't even want to guess how old he is, because it would make me feel very old.
60-something.
Good for him. Fill your boots, buddy. Keep dyeing your hair and keep letting it rip. People will listen to you.
Sounded everything incredible. And then the one thing that my buddy didn't tell me, because the story of this whole thing goes, is my buddy was actually, him and his wife went to go see the Drew Barrymore show recording back in April. And what they ended up doing was they had a mystery guest, and he answered a bunch of trivia questions about what ended up being Billy Idol. And he got to answer one on the show. He ended up winning these concert tickets on the show, and he told me they were like VIP and all these kind of things, but he didn't tell me it was a meet and greet. So we actually got to get photos with Billy Idol. I got this awesome Billy Idol autographed brand new album that he just actually got done recording. So I got something nice to hang up on the wall along with my concert t-shirt and some other fun stuff. And my wife is a big Joan Jett fan, and that's who opened up for the band. So I got her a t-shirt too.
Oh, there you
and
go.
She still sounds phenomenal too.
it's it is incredible. And then you talk about maybe some of the other stars of that time, like John Cougar Mellencamp and a few others that sound like a hot bag of garbage. Like I mean it's interesting, like Peter Gabriel always sounded incredible. Phil Collins always sounded incredible. Lionel Richie, like holy Moses, but there's a lot of people who do not, who sound like they've worn it. Vince Neil being one of them. But I mean, God love them for keeping out there and trying to keep it going.
Yeah. Another one of my personal favorites that I'll probably do it until the day he dies is Alice Cooper. He still tours and he still sounds incredible. So, but to that point, Billy Idol's still putting out brand new records and everything. So that is one that was released this year, and that's why he's touring. And it's a nice day to tour again is the name of the tour. It's good stuff. But anyways, stupid stories and shenanigans aside, we have some things to talk about with this Pittsburgh series that was basically a home game in Pittsburgh. But dear God, Jason, they could not hit their way out of a brown paper bag outside of George Springer for most of this series and Bo Bichette. So what's on your mind?
I mean, the whole Tommy Pham thing, but we'll probably get to that a little bit. But I mean, I find it interesting. I was talking with some of the guys. I had to go get some new wheels for Jet today. So thank you to Timeout Sports for helping us out. But when we were talking about it, and it's funny the way that the Jays have sort of played down to some of the competition that they do have. And when they do, they look really bad. I don't know what it is. I look at the Dodgers. The Dodgers have done it this year too. In fact, most of the good teams have played down to the level of the bottom feeders that they're playing. And the weird thing is it's helped some of those bottom feeders jump upwards in the and even some were getting frisky at the trade deadline, thinking they were possibly back in. But I mean, it's, I think you're going to struggle. The one interesting thing I find with Pittsburgh is the Jays have traded a lot with Pittsburgh. And so I think the two teams know each other really well. And so the internal of Pittsburgh knows the internal of the Jays pretty well. And I felt like in some cases, the Jays were trying a few things, like maybe, things they might, different kind of at-bats, different kind of swings, which I feel like, you can take a chance and lose a couple games to Pittsburgh, at the end of August and not have to worry about it too much. I mean, I feel like this Marlins series that's coming up is important. I feel like they need to put the pedal down. But I think what we're going to get into here is they've got some choices coming up here for
lots of choices
for guys coming back. Like I saw the Manoah stat line today. I hear Bieber is basically good to go.
Trey Savage, the unprospect, had a nice outing for the Bisons today too. So there's an embarrassment of pitching pieces here. But let's talk the wonderful fun that was the Tommy Pham thing, because this was a weird one, even for baseball standards. And Jason, it was a ball four, and he kind of, I'll just say, for lack of a better term, pimped out the bat flip to walk to first a little bit, but that was not even how it started. It literally was the fact that Heineman goes, "Really? That was a ball?" or something like that to the home plate umpire, and Pham does a U-turn and comes after him. And he goes, "Oh, so you don't think I know the strike zone?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think you do," is my exact answer in that situation. You see some of the shit he swings at and doesn't swing at in games, and it's not too crazy, but it was just wild that this ends up clearing the benches, Jason, for something that silly.
Well, I mean, and I think that Pham, I've watched his sort of, he reminds me a lot of Jordan Binnington, the goalie from the St. Louis Blues, who seemed to constantly be looking for a fight until someone finally challenged him and beat his ass up. Like if Tommy Pham wants to train MMA in the off season and wants to try and talk shit, I mean, he'll probably run up against somebody like the Jock Peterson one. I'm so surprised that nothing ever happened with that, past, minor, discipline. But I mean, the guy is a complete hothead. First and foremost, the call was terrible. And that was another thing that was prevalent in that Jays series the whole way through, is bad calls. And I've noticed the last couple of weeks, it's kind of been everywhere. Like that Skeens one that was right down Main Street. And I mean, there's been a few that have just been like, those are strikes, dude. Like,
very much
no
so
doubt about it. So I don't think there's too much to come of again, it's nice to see Springer playing well. It's nice to see Bo continuing to play well. I mean, you're gonna hit humps like that where stuff just doesn't go your way for a couple of games, and I mean they got one out of it, right? And they didn't get hammered, and nobody got hurt. So I mean, there's the positive
one.
Yeah.
So, and they were in them. It's not like this was a blowout or anything too crazy, but the game yesterday was the one that really irked me. Yesterday afternoon, the getaway day game, and it's because we had some kid that's barely pitched in the major leagues, and it's mostly been bullpen work. And there's his second start this year, and I'll use the word "start" loosely because his other start was an opener game, and this Johan Oviedo throws a 2-hitter against us. And it's like, what? Springer leads off the game with his, I think it was his 61st career home run in the leadoff spot, to lead off a game. Ricky Henderson's the only one that has more.
Yeah, he's in some elite company with that leadoff home run. Those were his leadoff home run numbers. Like, what is it? Like, I think it's Ricky Henderson. I think Tony Fernandez is up there. I think Ozzie Smith is up there. There's a few guys like real baseball royalty, for Cal Ripken might even be up there. I think he hit leadoff for a while too.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's Ricky Henderson, George Springer right now on that list. So it is what it is, but insane. It's, and not to mention, I think there's a certain level to it too, that him coming back for this series and doing what he's been really doing at the end of the day, Jason, is pretty damn amazing what he's been doing this year. And then he got clunked in the head pretty damn hard. Yeah. So it was no short feat to come back from that and be doing what he's doing.
It was nice to see a baseball player get a weird injury and come back from it and not have to take, 8 months off for electrocuting himself. You know what I mean? Like if you go back, baseball has had some of the strangest injuries that have kept guys out for, I don't think anything is stranger than the Dustin Johnson chasing the dude out of his house at the U.S. Open. But that's one for the golf record books. It is what it is. I think there's obviously positives to be taken, which is great. I like the fact that looking, at the media, they haven't full done a U-turn on the Jays just for losing one series. I do find Twitter to be a hilarious hole full of total buttheads, which, just to watch these people turn, it must be hard to be a pro athlete and stay off social media and see what some of these idiots say. But if we didn't have them, we probably wouldn't have a show. We love the idiots, don't we?
Oh, you mean like calling out certain players on our team for having steroid connections and stupid shit just because he was pissy over balls and strikes? So
all of it.
Anyways, so that's a fun little side note here. I want to take like literally 1 minute here and just talk about stupid baseball injuries. And the one that pops out into my head, Jason, is 1000% Joel Zumaya in 2006 hurt his wrists playing Guitar Hero before the American League Championship Series with the Tigers.
I do remember that. Yeah.
It's one of the weird ones that I can think of off the top of my head. And then there's the freak accident of Marcus Stroman tripping over the sprinkler head at the old complex for the Blue Jays. And there's some funny ones out there, bud.
Didn't one of the players, I'll see if I can Google it and look it up, but I feel like a player that played in a very temperate climate his whole life hurt himself with a snowblower. And it was coming like it was October. Like, it was they were in the playoffs and he had to clean the snow off his front porch, and he'd never dealt with snow before and bought a snowblower and managed to put his hand into it or so. If I remember right, that might have been an NHL player, but anyways, funny as hell.
You're almost sounding like for love of the game when he nicks his finger in the bandsaw.
Yeah. So, let's talk Alek Manoah. Yeah. What in the blue hell?
Yeah. Well, all of a sudden turned it on is really the nicest way of saying it. And I think it was only 4 1/3 that he got into the other night, but it was 4 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. And if I remember, this was against the Boston Red Sox minor league system, the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. So they're a good stacked minor league system too. So there's something representative there. Thoughts?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
is that a
it's interesting. So interesting. Like, I mean, for like the cliff that Alex Manoah fell off, not only personally and professionally, but I mean, we just haven't, like, how the Jays have managed to keep the stuff about him quiet is insane. Like, no one knows fully what happened. Like, did he hurt himself? I mean, I heard he got Tommy Johns. Like, I mean, like, and it was never
slipped right in there.
It's like, it's one of those things where you're just like, now he's back and everything seems to be okay. And you're like, well, I mean, is it going to be okay? I mean, if it is, awesome. I mean, if you could get him to give you, like, let's hypothetically say we're talking playoffs. I mean, Manoah throws hard. I mean, if you needed him to clean up a couple of innings, of wet work where you were, maybe up 2 or 3 and coming through, the bottom part of their roster, and you just needed somebody to rip smoke. I mean, he can do that. There are worse choices, and we've had them on this team to put up there in that
this year.
Yes, but if you've got like Verland and Varland and him and I mean, if you've got arms that people haven't seen and challenging, like, no one's seen Manoah in a year and a half. He comes into relieve a game. What video do they have? They have video from 2 years ago.
Yeah, when he was just walking everything in sight, which, by the way, he's still doing that to a certain point. But that's just Alek Manoah. If we remember when he was good, there was the biggest thing that was, it was swing and miss in his game that really got lost in that, I'll say, rough patch. They weren't swinging at those balls that were dipping out of the zone anymore. So if you can get some regain back and fool some hitters on that whole thing, then it's a win. It's that simple. So yeah, it'll be interesting 100%. To see how this transpires, because let me drop a wonderful tidbit from Kevin Glue, the Coop in Canada gentleman on Twitter and whatnot. He has been always a great source of information and whatnot. If you talk about who the Toronto Blue Jays leader in WAR is in the pitching staff this year, relievers, starters, anybody that's picked up a ball and thrown it at the home plate this year, Jason, who do you think that person is that leads that category right
now? Leader in WAR. Barrios?
He'd be number 3.
Is that right?
There's 2 people above him.
Who's number 1?
Eric Lauer.
Scherzer? Oh, yeah.
2.7 WAR.
He's been great. I mean, it's like you said earlier. I mean, it's an embarrassment right now of pitching riches, and this is the time you need that to happen. I mean, if you can keep Manoah and I don't know who you're dropping. I mean, I think you have to drop somebody. So Bieber can come in and start pitching. I mean, I think that's a given. I'm slightly afraid that it might be Kevin Gausman based on how poorly he's performed. I mean, I don't know if you can keep him on the roster. I know, what is it, after August? Is it after September you can add one more player, one more pitcher?
Yeah, to your basically roster? The first full week in September, I think, is the roster date where they get that extra person or 2. I think they're allowed to go to 29 for some reason from 27.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's, I feel like there's some options out there, but I really do think that they're going to have to massage some egos, and some guys are going to have to go to Buffalo, and some guys are going to have to throw in Buffalo and do a good job down there, and just be ready to this could be the Jays. We always talk about what's their secret sauce, what's their secret weapon this year. This very well could be it. Guys not seeing guys for a while, like Gausman goes down for a couple of starts down there. He comes back up. Oh, he's changed his splitter a little bit to, more effective.
That won't happen. No options.
You're like, oh, and that happens. I mean, what we don't understand a lot of times is I feel like MLB teams keep players up on their active roster when they should be sending them down and I know there's rules, some guys can't go through waivers and all this other stuff, but I mean, for the good of the game, if a pitcher is struggling, there's no better medicine than to go down and go against just slightly less good hitting. It's not a huge drop. I mean, a lot of those guys are very, very, very good hitters. In fact, it's a very hitter-strong league when you look at it. Like, I mean, the pitching is okay in it, but it's a very hitter-strong league because a lot of those guys just aren't good enough to play the position that is occupied on their major league team. But hitting-wise, I mean, when you look at most guys coming up, you're like, oh, their stats are amazing at the plate. You know, oh, he's made 16 errors. And that's what it is. You know, that's wherein lies the difference, the fine line between, you know, playing for the Iron Pigs or the Boston Red Sox.
There is that.
So it's
there's a reason they have that term quadruple A players, buddy.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like for me, I think the interesting part is just going to be to see what they do, what moves they do make. I mean, you know, like I said, you can't do much with Scherzer right now. He's doing great. I think probably, you know, Barrios is probably 2. And Bassett has been okay. You know, like
very up and down with him and Gossman the last few weeks. Gossman's
been great.
Got an inside edge, I think, just because of what they like with his splitter and missing bats. But to that point, so right now we had 6 elite starters that we could have been trucking out there, with Lauer included in that piece to that. The Blue Jays move for the current foreseeable future is, and they said they're not married to this, I'll believe it when I see it, is Eric Lauer is temporarily moving to the bullpen for this round around the rotation. And that's why Shane Bieber's getting the start tomorrow. I flat out disagree with that one. And there's not very much dissing in that whole thing. If I was going to move somebody to the bullpen, and I'm the one wearing the manager hat right now, and we know I'm getting paid giant sums of money to, you know, have an opinion. No sarcasm there at all. I would honestly think that the best fit on that whole thing would be Bassett, and I think it's because of the variety of pitches.
Yeah,
it's no ding to him. Yeah, go for it.
It's one of those things where, again, it's deception. It's maybe if you're bringing him in the 4th or 5th, you know, like if you're looking at him as sort of like the setup man to the relief crew. I mean, he does bring a lot of spin, a lot of swing and miss, a lot of ground balls. And so if you're up a bunch, then, you know, I mean, ego-wise, I'm not sure how Bassett would take it. He doesn't seem to be the most egotistical guy, but he is a professional athlete, and he probably has, you know, like you talk about guys who don't want to do their jobs, you know, and they're the reason that a team loses because they just can't say, you know, we need you to go and do this for us for a bit. I mean, if I'm doing that, like if I'm taking a look at the Jays, you know, starters and saying who is going to bounce back the best, again, I think I go to Gausman. I mean, and I agree with you that he's probably got better stuff than Bassett does right now. But I think that if you were to say to Gausman, hey, man, we need you to go to the pen for a bit. We need you to come. When we need you to come, we need you to throw the ball hard. And we need you, you know, we need that same deception and all of it. And we need you as a threat. We need them to look down there and see you start warming up and be like, oh, Jesus, this guy's tough to hit. Right. Like, I mean,
so to give you the blatant paper pieces to this whole thing, Kevin Gausman is 8-9 on the season with a 3.78 ERA, and Chris Bassett is 11-17 with a 4.18 ERA. If you look at their last 7 games, Gausman's cruised. He's had 1 bad outing. The rest have been pretty good. He has a 2.93 ERA in 43 innings in the last 7 outings. Bassett, it's closer to mid-4s for that same under 40 innings too in that same amount of time. So, and I'm not dinging that fact either, because this is like, to the Blue Jays' credit, they've been handling this splendidly, because they do know that they've been having all sorts of great talent in their pitching rotation. And I honestly was wondering that if the inside splitting of this move was to actually just kind of give everybody a rotating day off and skip.
It could be too.
Because if you do Lauer now, he has not thrown this kind of innings at the major league level.
No, he has not.
So it's very interesting to see how he's been holding up to this point because he's looked like a monster. So maybe this is just to give him an extra week off. You know, he has 10 days off in between the start. And then that next time around, they go, hey, Chris, guess what? This is your week to get out. And they kind of shuffle it like that. But then the other gentleman is whoever the odd man is out that right now with Lauer. You have him able to come out of the bullpen and eat a few innings here when you need to. Maybe there is a big high leverage situation, you know, where one of those guys does get knocked out a little too soon. And you got that guy ready to go and pitch 2 innings, which is still a break compared to throwing a whole game.
You may even get one where somebody, you know, craps the bed in the first inning or inning and a half, and you want to get 4 or 5 out of them. And I mean, it's really no different than a start. You're just slightly, you know, altering the way that you go about your business before the game. I mean, I've coached with a good friend of mine who played some minor league ball. He's an excellent guy, excellent coach. His name is Chris Randall. And he always says, and this is so true, be a baseball player first, be a position player second. So if the coach says to you, we need you to go and do this, just how fast can I get there? You know, like, and I understand that these are grown men that make millions and millions of dollars to play baseball. And there are egos that are, you know, you can't even fit in the stadium. But, you know, when you start to see these guys, you know, even a guy like, you know, like a guy like Kershaw this year, you know, sort of, you know, just wanting to get one more kick at it. I mean, he's been very, 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 like when they are taking him out early or anything, he's like, hey, Skip, I'm going to run into the dugout and eat some seeds, you know, like he's there for the team. And he realizes that if they go, you know, far in the playoffs, he won't be in the rotation. I mean, he knows that. So it's one of those things where you've got to just team first and really do what you can do to be the best team player you can be. But again, and you know,
I think it's hysterical right now that everybody is, you know, the Blue Jays are quote unquote saying we have our best 3 ready to go for the playoffs, right? And they are including Shane Bieber in that category right now, Jason. Blue Jays fans have not seen him. He's been doing great on these rehab assignments. He's just recovering from Tommy John surgery, all these things to pencil him right into that, you know, 3-man rotation that you really need for the playoffs, especially the first round. The other 2 being Gossman and Scherzer, I think right now are deadlocks. That third person, I'm flipping a coin of it being Barrios or, you know, Shane Bieber, or even, like I said, even over Scherzer or whatever right now. You don't have a bad option. And we saw last time that Barrios pitched in the playoffs how much he would want that ball back. So there's plenty of good stories there, but it's incredible to me that the MLB Network, Sportsnet, all these places are so hyped up on Shane Bieber. It almost scares me a little bit. And I do know what kind of a talent he is. And that's not the problem. It's just you're putting a lot on a guy's shoulders that is a wild card really at the end of the day. And thank God we didn't give up a ton for him. I love Alan Roden just as much as everybody else, Jason, but I had a chance to get a Cy Young rotation guy here. Go for it.
I mean, it's I think it all comes down to exactly what the base of what we're talking about is somebody on the rotation is going to have to step up and say, I'm willing to go to the pen. I'm willing to go and eat some innings and help people out. And I mean, the weird thing is I'll bet you if they asked Scherzer to do it, he'd probably do it. I mean, just seems like the kind of guy, like very lunch pail, very, you know, and from everything that I've ever heard or read, he has no ego. Like, I mean, it is absolutely checked at the door when he comes in. I mean, just look at the stuff he's done for all the minor league teams that he's played on. You know, every single one of them he's bought, you know, very lavish gifts for all the kids there to just sort of show them that when you make sure you pay it forward. And so,
correct.
I mean, I think it's one of those things where it'll be very interesting to see what they use and who they use. And I think as we see that over the next couple of weeks, we'll start to see, hopefully, you know, some smart management coming out. I feel like Schneider has done a very good job this year of managing. And I feel like you said, I mean, it may be tired arms. It may be, you know, things like that. And you know, smartly this year, actually resting some people. But I mean, when it comes to guys like Bish and Springer, and I mean, you don't really want them resting because they're hot as a firecracker right now. So
yeah,
I mean, what's the fine line between sitting a guy out and making him slower or whatever?
Yeah. And then there is the one elephant in the room that the Blue Jays have to worry about, because there hasn't been any great, wonderful, oh my God news yet. But there is a big injury looming over our heads a little bit right now, with Vlad Jr. having a little extra going on that split the other day. He's been diagnosed with a hamstring inflammation, which is a lot better than a lot of things it could have been. That, first off, hell of a play, but buddy, come on. It's against the Pirates. Don't do the splits, maybe.
So, it was shocking when I saw it. It pulled both of my groins. I'll tell you that much for free. But it's the one thing I do love about Vladdy is like you said, it's against the Pirates. He doesn't give a shit. I mean, he's an absolute gamer. Like he absolutely wants every out. He wants every hit. He wants every home run. He wants to play the game, at a high level at all times. And so, I mean, good for him. And, he is, I think this also speaks to, the Jays taking their time this year with all of the players that they do have, allowing Vladdy to take some days off at first, allowing to play a little, I think he's played a little bit of third. And I feel like that has made him healthier and stronger going into this part of the year. I think they've done it well with all parts. Bichette seems to be in the best shape he's been in ever. I mean, Ernie Clement looks great. They all look great. And I feel like properly managed in the next couple of weeks here, we're really going to see something special.
Yeah, it's going to be very fun regardless. It's just too much fun. And he's going to be there. There's no way in hell that you're going to keep him off the damn field. It was probably like pulling teeth just to anchor him down the other night for the second game or the third game of the series.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be all ready to go for all things here in Miami. So we'll see. But on that note, Jason, there is a baseball thing I want to talk about here before, but I want to make sure that I give everybody the opportunity that is listening in. I see 151 of you in the chat right now, and I see plenty more of you over on our lovely new platform of TikTok. So say something. We want to hear from you. That's what we're here for. That's the whole point on the barroom chat for Blue Jays fans. Jason and I are definitely not right all the time. We want to hear from you. So have you seen the ridiculousness that is the new realignment talk that Ron Manfred is starting to chit-chat on?
No.
Have you seen any of it?
No.
So I'm assuming this goes along with many things that Bryce Harper happens to be pissed about with that Ron Manfred, but they want to add 2 Major League Baseball teams. The rumors are Nashville, Salt Lake City, and there potentially is some cracks open for some other options, but those seem to be the 2 leading candidates.
I mean, Nashville's a no-brainer. They have a hockey team that they support the hell out of. And did the Tennessee Titans play out of Nashville, or are they in somewhere else? I mean, it is from everyone I've ever talked that's been there. They say it is an absolutely phenomenal city. It's Vegas without the porn and the puke.
As much as I know none of you want to come down here and visit me, and I see that completely why you would want to come down here to the United States and visit me right now. Nashville has become one of the best places in the country to visit as far as just good, wholesome, old school rock and roll, country music, that kind of good stuff. It has been, I've not been there in a million years myself, but it is a fun town. I would highly recommend it, and it has grown substantially in the last 15 years.
As soon as the government changes down in the old US of A in a couple of years here, it's the first place that we're going to go. I've always wanted to go. We were talking a couple of years ago when it was my 50th birthday about going, and we never went, which was a mistake. So I think as soon as the temperature changes down there, and there's a little bit of a different mindset, then I think we'll probably be back to spending our hard-earned Canadian clams down there. But I mean, it's.
And I will look forward to seeing you and maybe tag along, because that's actually not a horrible drive for me.
No. And I mean, I guess the only Major League Baseball doesn't have too many cities, and I guess Salt Lake has done really well with hockey. They've embraced it. It's done very well. Vegas has a team now, so
they've always had the Utah Jazz, which has always been amazing attendance throughout the years for them. So
Oregon,
it's those kind of things. There's always the tease of Montreal being still on the table. There's all these stupid little things like that are in the fun. It's not like they're going to all of a sudden put another team back in Oakland.
No, honestly, I think if you're talking Montreal, you're probably talking Quebec City as well, and you're probably talking Vancouver at some level. The Vancouver Canadians have proved that we could and have for the last. The attendance for the Vancouver Canadians for the last 5 years has been
sold out.
And the interesting thing for me is they're actually I can remember when you could walk right up to the any night that they were and you would get tickets for $10. They didn't care. Just get in the building, buy a couple of beers, have a 3-foot dog, and be done with it. Now, not only can you not get them there, you're paying resale ticket value. It's turned into a thing. Good for them. Good for Nat Bailey. Good for the White Spot people. Good for the Canadians.
The other two towns that have been consistently in that same vein in what you mentioned with the Vancouver Canadians being so loved in your city, the Charlotte Knights, the minor league team for the Chicago White Sox in Charlotte, North Carolina, is constantly selling out. And it's typical. That's a normal thing. Wisconsin, and then Portland, Oregon is always, for some reason, on all the lists for all these things.
It's a dump. It's a dump. No one's going there for any reason. I don't know if you've been or know anyone that's gone. It's a military state. It's a dump, and it sucks because Coach Cox, that I'm good friends with the boys, a BLE guy. He has a team in Bend, Oregon, and Bend is a great city, great people. The team is awesome. The kids don't want to come because Portland is so frightening, and it's
not going to attract free agents. Not compared to those other cities we were just talking.
Yeah.
So
Montreal would be great.
I'm leaning Nashville's in a slam dunk. Utah's probably the other one. And just to throw these, there's been all sorts of, what do the divisions look like? And what it's really boiled down to is you still have your East and West. But right now, what they're talking about is that you'd have the Northeast, Atlantic, Southeast, and Waterside, meaning your side of the state. or Lakeside, I guess. So the one I've seen is the Blue Jays get chunked into a division with the Yankees, Mets, Red Sox, and us. That doesn't help us at all.
No, they're not in a good spot. The only thing they could hope is maybe they cut the line off at New York and went the other way. So you'd have Minnesota.
So we get I would love to have Minnesota, Cleveland, and Detroit.
Yep,
and that would be very fun because we've always had that classic rivalry with, the Detroit Tigers. Our friend Blake and Len that were on last week talking all things Dave Steve, who is in our wonderful fun here too, with a great comment. That rivalry is gone with the Detroit Tigers, and that was the drive for 85. That was how I became a Blue Jay fan, was watching those series against Lou Whitaker and eventually our Cecil Fielder, our own guy, beating us up for how many years and whatnot. But it's going to happen. It's only a matter of time, I think. If they add two more teams, Jason, it's going to have somewhere to go. And I think it's very interesting that there's many ways to chunk this up. And I do like that the fact that they're trying to group some of the teams together, at least in these theories everybody's playing around with. LA Dodgers, LA Angels are in the same division with the San Diego Padres and the Giants in the Pacific for the West League. And it'll be East-West is kind of a lot of people's thoughts, which would help with some of these game time things.
It could create a lot of good rivalries that don't exist. Like the Mariners have no rivalry with the California teams. It just doesn't exist. But if you made a West division, it would certainly create a whole new thing. And I'm not the hugest advocate of change. I don't love, when they started adding more teams onto the NHL. You look at the NHL, and the problem was they were going to places where traditionally hockey is not played, and they forced it in, and in most cases it didn't work. Baseball's
yeah,
played
not every
every
team was the Vegas Knights, right?
Yeah. Well, that's different. I mean, everything seems to
Phoenix
work in
Coyotes
Vegas. I think
died.
you could have a Tiddlywinks team and they do well. Like, I mean, it's, and I'm really aging. And for anyone who Googles Tiddlywinks, I'm going to come to your house. But it's, it's one of those things where you run out of real estate. And like, I was just thinking while you were talking about it, like, I mean, Wisconsin, I mean, they don't have a team. Name another sort of sizable state that doesn't
anywhere in
have
that little chunk. It's
Yeah,
just kind of all fields.
Columbus doesn't have a team. Like, and it has to be like an equitable size. It has to not steal away from the other things they do have if that's the only thing they do have. And could you probably put another team in Texas? Maybe. I mean, Texas is a giant state with a lot of people in it. And people that care more about baseball than they do seemingly in Florida. So, I mean, you've got New Mexico, you've got, like we could probably do this. This would actually be a fun show, but you know what we should do?
Yeah.
We should do this. We should this should be an off-season one. We should come up with a mascot and a team and the whole thing for the largest states the largest 10 states or cities that don't have a team in the US.
Yeah. It sounds like the stupid thing that I've always used is our little handshake with some of our friends and whatnot. That's pick two people related to Blue Jays baseball and name the podcast that they do together.
Yeah.
I still like the one I had with David Wells and Jason Grilly together on the podcast, and you call it the Boomer with Cheese.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
See what I did there? That's still my favorite. Outside of Murunori Kawasaki and Mark DeRosa, which this one should be pretty damn obvious because of the interview that he did when he was, hitting the home run for us the one day. It's I think I'm turning Japanese. Play on the 80s music, play on that interview. DeRosa's a huge 80s guy.
Yeah, solid.
So, but I think it's going to happen. And Blake is also in the comments saying the same thing. It's going to happen. And those are probably the likely cities: Utah, Salt Lake City, and Nashville. So we'll see, Jason. But it was an interesting topic that's come up over the last few weeks or a few days, actually. And fun times.
I mean, realignment. The other things that come with that are All-Star Game is vastly different, and some of those divisions will end up being bottom feeder heavy. And you could probably make a case like where you're saying Yankees, Mets, blah blah blah. I mean, I think you could make a case that geographically you could move some of those teams around into different divisions to make those divisions harder. And if somebody gets kicked in the nuts to have it happen, then they do. Like, I mean. I look at the Vancouver Canucks, the LA Kings, San Jose Sharks, Anaheim Ducks. I mean, they are in a bad time zone for hockey, and they do the most travel. And we're not even fully in we used to have the Pacific Division, and now we have a division that's sort of weird and sideways. But the way that the baseball playoffs work would have to be changed. You'd probably have to add an extra team to that or something of that.
What they'll probably do in that is they'll take away a wild card team or something like that. Because now you'll have 4 division winners. You'll have the other 2 best teams in baseball, or maybe you do leave the third one. I don't know. It could be some interesting stuff. But in some of these projections and stuff, we were mentioning the teams, the Blue Jays and the Angels. I feel like in these hypotheticals that I keep seeing as far as alignments up. We're the 2 teams that get screwed the most. Because you're going to get geographically lumped in, like we were just talking about with, I'll say, the Northeast, unless it becomes like the Great Lakes division. And we get, like we were talking about with the Twins, Tigers, and so on and so forth. But the Angels being literally between San Francisco, San Diego, Dodgers.
Yeah, that's not even close. It's not up for debate. That is a kitten walking into the tiger cage and knowing it's going to get eaten. Like, I mean, the
team that probably gets off the best on this whole thing, as I'm looking around where these divisions and everything land, would be what they call the Mountain Division, which is the Rockies, Athletics, the New Salt Lake City, whatever the hell they are, and the Seattle Mariners. And the Mariners are a much better team than all 3 of those teams, at least currently.
The Mariners would cakewalk that division.
Correct.
And I just came up for a team for Utah. They could call them the Stormin' Mormons. It could be like a Dust Devil type of thing.
Yeah, Salt Lake Saltines.
Yeah, the Salt
crackers.
Lake, no booze allowed.
Oh God, horrible fun. That is a good one we have to play around with. Keep that one going in the chats and the comments, everybody. I feel like I'm gonna have to clip that one up and keep it moving.
Yeah, be good.
So anyway, Jason, as we weren't planning on doing a whole hour, but here we are at 45 minutes right now. Is there any other baseball Blue Jays topics you would like to talk to before we talk picks to click and wrap this up?
No, I think, it's been a good week. I think, there's a lot of fun stuff going on in the league and, encouraging, like you said, I think last check, there was a couple of hundred people, more than that on both sides. Yep. When we're talking about this stuff, the big thing for Craig and I is we want you guys to do research. We want you guys to find out who the guys are that are coming up so that when we do have these conversations, you guys are feeding us with some information. I work
part of the conversation.
Job. Yeah, I work a regular job like Craig does, and I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I just sit down and flip the computer open and do this show. So I mean, it's nice to be challenged. Sometimes it's nice for people to and it's really nice for me to see the same people. And I am missing my cousin Troy Lyons tonight. We may have missed him. He might have been a little late.
Or he's just being quiet on the chat tonight.
I hope you're doing okay out there, Troy. The whole family's concerned. But yeah, I mean, we're getting to a really fun time of the year and the Jays are in it. And it's amazing to me how quickly things turned to, to talking about them. And so now that it's, we don't really have much until the World Series, I like,
winning.
Talk about the Jays with your friends, bring it up. Talk about, share this podcast with your friends. We're really getting to a point now where the conversations are getting fun and I want to see this thing through. And I want to see, if we're having playoff casts, I want a couple of thousand people in here just hammering us with stuff. And, maybe we can even look to get some call-ins and stuff like that going.
I have that avenue. It's like, you're reading my mind, bud. So if you,
that's why we work well together, buddy.
Yeah. The website that's down here that says we have an all new website, jbirdwatching.com. Head over to that. I've been trying to get some people to do it. We've had some, I'll say, interesting ones that have kind of clicked the button on it. But as soon as you land on the homepage, there is a button that says submit a voice message. That will come to our group. We will air it on the air and have a bunch of people's questions on that. So make sure you head over to jbirdwatching.com and hang out with us. Like I said, this is the barroom chat for Blue Jays fans. We cannot have a barroom chat unless we have all of you in it. So thank you very, very much for all of you joining. Still 230 of you strong in the chat right now, or at least listening in. Thank you for listening to our shenanigans this evening. But on that note, Jason, we have some fun ones coming up, or at least next week. I don't know if you remember who we have next week actually joining us. Do you?
Oh, who is it?
We have Pat Malacaro, the voice of the Buffalo Bisons, is going to be joining us. I got to confirm again with it, but to that fact, this is the date that we talked. It might be a weird time because of his wonderful fun that we had when we had Tyler Zickel on the show. He's got to obviously, call a game. So we're going to confirm a time with him. So we will make sure we post you all up on that too. We also have a brand new one that is going to be for the scheduled for the end of the month, including another episode where Bob File wants to come back. I think he loves us. I think he does.
Love Bob File.
So Bob will be back in the very near future too. I told him we're open after next week until the 24th, where one of my favorite new people that we've been interacting with on TikTok and whatnot, Brooke Knows Ball, which is a wonderful baseball follow. Check her out. She is incredible. She did a great thing on Dave Steve the other day. So Blake, Glenn, check that out. And she's very, very talented, very articulate, super hardcore into baseball. And I cannot say there's a better baseball follow outside of us, of course.
Yeah.
So, but make sure you check that out. She will be joining us at the end of September, right before playoff time. So that's going to be very interesting to talk baseball with her, and we will have a great time. But on that note, Jason, I think we have one thing we have to figure out here before we.
I can't even remember who I took last week. I feel like I know I had to jump off, and I can't remember.
We penciled you in. So on that note, I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna just list the names off because you don't know, you're cold. So I'm just gonna shuffle them up here and let you pick who you think can, because you also don't even know who you pick. So we're gonna talk Dalton Varsho, Addison Barger, Vlad, and Bo Bichette were picked last week.
I think Bo wins. I mean,
Bo wins
out of those 4, I think.
Yeah.
Don't you?
So you're gonna. I'm biased right now. I'm not. Like I said, I'm going Bo.
I mean, I don't think anybody else had a very. I mean, if somebody picked Springer, then I think we would have had a conversation. But I don't.
That would have been a slam dunk, I think. But thank you for the win, my friend. I finally got one. Apparently, I can only win with Bo Bichette, is what I'm finding.
And people are going to think this is rigged.
I picked him 3 times, and he's got me.
Yeah, every time I pick the winner, it's your guy. So
don't worry about it. We're just going to make sure we team up and actually beat Liz and knock her off of her high horse here, because she's looking like a repeat champion here at the moment, and she started off late last year. That wasn't fair.
You know what? You know what would be really embarrassing is if, like fantasy football, if we created like a Sacco where we had a punishment for whoever comes in last and picks to click for the year.
Yeah, I'm not wearing any Yankees material on a show, my friend.
My kid came up with a good idea for fantasy football punishment. I've got my fantasy two of them coming up here, and he said you call it the barber shop, and the winner gets to take the loser to a barber shop and cut their hair any way they want to. And they have to leave
my lawn flowing locks.
They have to leave it like that for a week. That's the only stipulation.
I don't want to lose my job, bud.
Right, exactly. I said it's hard. I mean, what he said then is you could get it done and then take a bunch of pictures, and then they could shave their head or fix it at least.
Why does this sound like a frat party or something like that, where you end up like shaving a spiral around like my arm hair or something like that?
I'd like to think that I'm not raising frat bozos, but I mean, I may be raising frat bozos. Jury's out.
Good stuff, my friend. So on that note, because like I said, I'm the host of this thing, so I never go first. So who do you think? Who's your guy?
Oh man. It's been an interesting, couple of weeks. There's been a few guys that have been sort of off the map for a bit. So I'm going to dig deep. I'm going to dig in and get one here. I'm going to go.
You have the opportunity. The floor is yours.
I know, and I'm not going to take the traditionals. I'm going to take Mr. Ernesto Clementes.
King Ernie, brother of Bert.
Yes.
So there you go. That's a fun one. And to that point, he's due for a hot streak because he's not been doing bad, but he is when he gets going, he's just zoom. It's fun to watch. So yeah, good solid pick. I like it. And let's see here. So we got to pick. I feel like I got to pick a decent one for Liz, just because she's been traveling, and the only reason she's not here is because of Air Canada.
She just can't have Vladdy or Bo. She can have anybody else.
I think I'm gonna be nice this week, and I'm gonna make sure none of us pick Vladdy or Bo, and I'm gonna give her Kirk.
Good call.
I'm gonna take Barger.
Lovely.
And we need to pick a person for the guest spot. And I think I'm just going to carry over our buddies from last week, Dalton Varsho. So
lovely.
Thank you.
Very equitable.
Steve today. So good deal, boys. So on that note, Jason, is there anything else you want to chit chat on?
No, the only other thing is any of you fabulous people out there that have any connections, we are looking to get some swag done for the show. We'd like to have it offered on our website. If you do work in the branding or garment industry, we would like to talk to you. And
I have the opportunity to do the shirts. If you have a wonderful idea for Blue Jay,
that's the other
that you have wanted on a t-shirt, I will gift you the shirt if you come up with one we pick. So submit it, drop it into us on Twitter, Instagram, wherever you end up messaging us. But in the meantime, too, we got this thing that I'm going to actually put up on the, lovely fun this week as a giveaway. So make sure you head over to Instagram is where we're going to do that. So here's your tease. This is actually a real wood, big old homemade thing that somebody made locally here in Rochester, New York. And I was like, okay, I'm going to grab that. Cool. And then as you all see, kind of don't have a lot of room on the wall. So I have a lot of Blue Jay stuff. That's all I'm going to say. So I have to rotate stuff in and out. But this one is going to be a wonderful addition to somebody's office living room, bar room, whatever it might be.
That's
so
super
we're going
cool.
to make sure we get that out to you. So on that note, I think we're good, Jason.
You know
So-
what, buddy? We're great. Not good, just great.
So on that note, in the words of Billy Idol, from the Blue Jays offense, I need more. So on that note, thank you everybody for listening in, and we're going to have a great time this week. Make sure you tune in next week on Wednesday. I will make sure I get you the time. We will be live with the voice of the Buffalo Bisons, Pat Melicaro. And you all have a great week. And as always, go Blue Jays.
Thank you for listening to the Jay Bird Watching Podcast. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch at BirdwatchingGC and our YouTube channel. If you want to support the show and get extra content, please consider joining to our Patreon at patreon.com/birdwatchinggc. Go Jays, go.
Woo!